Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to review the 2017 science fiction horror movie, The Rizen, a film that is undeniably very British indeed, and is a strange blend of a horror sci-fi that feels like a mix of an off-the-wall Doctor Who episode mixed with an episode of Twilight Zone and with a video game thrown into the blend, and with the unmistakable air of British wit and comedy also blended into the mix. It's quite a strange blend of a movie, this, and I'll be honest, when I first started it 10-15 minutes into the movie, I didn't think I was going to really have any fun with this movie at all. I didn't like it, basically. And then it has an undeniable charm, this movie, that kind of wins you over a little bit by the end, and when it's finished, even though you don't necessarily understand what you've just watched to a certain degree, or really have a huge amount of love for it, you quite enjoyed it. And this movie focuses on a female character who wakes up in this underground complex in a tunnel. No memory of who she is. She just thinks she's called Frances and that she's a cook. And she soon discovers another guy, a professor, who is really quite witty in his ways, and they team up, and essentially they have to find their way through this maze of an underground complex. It's just corridor after corridor, and they keep coming up against these creatures that look like something from a Doctor Who episode. To be fair, they would look like they would be good creatures in that series, and essentially they are like creatures with like these wrappings around them, soaked in blood, and when they are unveiled as to what they are, they look a bit more menacing. And they have to fight their way through waves after these waves and waves of these creatures using whatever resources they can find, i.e. crowbars, rocks, things like that. And ultimately they come across another survivor who is a soldier, and they all team up in the hope of discovering what's going on and finding a way out safely. And in the mix of all this, we get lots of confusing flashbacks as to potentially some kind of experiments that have been going on in here. And this is set in the 50s as well. I think it's 1955, so they're doing some kind of weird experiments, and it hints that, you know, all these secrets were brought to these top scientists and they've uncovered something, some kind of void or portal that invites otherworldly things in, and as you would expect, they've lost control of it, and that's the general blend of this story, and that's kind of one of the things that lets it down, this movie, is the story, because it doesn't feel like there's really a coherent story, because she doesn't explain it well as to what's going on, and that might have been intentional. Kind of felt a little bit intentional. Feels a bit samey. Yeah, you know, you see in the same corridor after corridor, and occasionally you'll see one that's soaked in blood now and again, and you see a bit of gore here and there, you know, where these creatures are painting the walls with people's entrails and that kind of stuff. But it does kind of feel like you've seen it all before. Once you've gone through one battle, then you get to the next one, and they kind of scrape through each one just about. And that's kind of it, really, this movie. What holds it together, I think, is the performances, which are pretty good. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to like it initially. I thought that its attempts at comedy early on didn't really hit it with me. I was expecting it to be like a full-on scare fest or something, and even though it tries to be at times, and it gives you that, it is unapologetic in regards to its stiff upper lip and Britishness, and its undeniable English-British comedy and wit that it throws in there. And this professor guy is the epitome of that. His observations on one-liners are full-on British humour. And like I say, it took me back initially, but once I got it, and once I understood the chemistry between all the leads, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed their performances, and I thought it worked really, really well. That definitely worked in the movie. The video game element, like I say, it just kind of felt like almost like a video game in regards to its level design. You know, they're going through corridors, and then they might meet one bad guy creature, and then a few more corridors down they'll meet 2 creatures, and then 3, and then 3 creatures, and an even stronger creature, and then you starts off with stones, and then they get crowbars, and then eventually a gun. So it just kind of felt like they were leveling up like a video game almost, which I thought was an interesting concept. I don't know if that's what they were aiming for, but that's what it felt like. But pretty decent film this. The ending's bonkers. I'm not sure what to make of the ending at all. Very confusing, but again, that might have been the point. Doesn't explain anything. But yeah, I thought it was okay. This, I definitely thought I wasn't going to enjoy it early on, but I'll give this a 6 out of 10. I thought it was watchable for sure. I thought there were elements in it that were interesting. I thought they tried to make something a bit original. The budget at times lets it down, as these sort of things tend to. But it's an interesting movie, and I think it's something you might be interested in. We've got quite a few cameos from well-known British actors. We've got Ade Edmondson in here, you'll know from The Young Ones and the sitcom Bottom. We've got Bruce Payne in here, who's played a bad guy in many a B movie over the years, and some other faces that you'll probably recognise, certainly from British TV and things like that. So yeah, guys, I don't think it was too bad. It's worth a go. There's elements in it that you might enjoy. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.